So it's November 20th. Riding season is over. Time to change the oil. I just checked the mileage this season. 3,300 kilometers total. Last year was 2,000. And I guess that's better than last year. And I'm still trying to figure out how motorcycles fit in my life. I'll tell you why. August 2023, I flew out west in Canada and rented a motorcycle, something I always wanted to do. And I was jet lagged. It rained when it wasn't supposed to. I didn't have my proper riding gear on. I had some rental stuff on. It wasn't great. And I crashed. I crashed pretty hard. A pickup truck T-boned me. Knocked me down pretty hard. Broke 5 bones in my foot. Concussion, bruises, cuts. But I survived. And but I'm not really sure if my love of riding have survived. So still trying to figure out how that's supposed to go, because it's been 2 years now, 2 riding seasons. I've been riding about 20 years. When I was about 40, my oldest was 16. She took the motorcycle course and bought a motorcycle, Yamaha Virago. It was about 5 years older than she was, I think. But I'd always loved motorcycles. When I was growing up, I had the Easy Rider poster on my wall. And I remember when I was about 18, played hooky from high school and stayed on the school bus with the driver, and we went fishing together. And this particular driver from my hometown, probably late 20s, he had ridden a motorcycle across Canada, down to California, back over to Florida and up. And I just, from a small town boy, I thought that was just incredible. And that's something I always romanticized about. So I rode my my daughter's old Virago around the block. I thought, I've always wanted to do this. You know, having kids and stuff really wasn't any time to have a motorcycle, moving a lot in the military. So anyway, seemed right. So I went to the licensing office and rode a test, and took my friend's, I think it was 250 dirt bike in the parking lot, did some figure eights, and they gave me a learner's permit. And I took that learner's permit and went and bought an early 2000s Suzuki S40 Boulevard, 650cc, 380 pounds, perfect starter bike. And then I was hooked. I loved it. I rode that thing all the time. I think the first weekend I put like 500 kilometers on it. Just, I don't know, it just seemed, it was just a lot of fun. And it was an escape, and any chance I could get, I'd go for a ride. So the S40 was day trips, just around, rode it back and forth to work, down to Peggy's Cove, Nova Scotia. It's a great place to ride a motorcycle, and I did that for a few years. And then got posted to Kenya, so I had to sell the bike. And while I was in Kenya, we would do trips to South Africa. My daughter and I rented a Harley Davidson, drove around the Horn of South Africa. Just loved motorcycling. I have to tell you, I love scuba diving more now that I'm a scuba diver. But at the time, being a biker was part of my retirement identity, I guess. And I just loved it. I never thought about the danger. I wasn't really into speed. It was just about the open road. I know there's a lot of YouTubers out there that talk about romanticism, and they're a lot more versed than I am in the English language and can tell you why they drive a motorcycle. For me, it's like a flow, I guess. But I just loved it. I love being on a bike. I came back from Kenya and I ended up buying a 2013, I think it was a Yamaha Bolt. And that was a cool looking bike. And I thought, this is the coolest thing I've ever owned. And it was very basic. I think it was under $10,000, and didn't have a gas gauge. It was just a cruiser, and it was easy to ride, and I loved it. Then I was getting posted over to the Philippines. I retired from the military, and I took that cruiser down East Coast United States. No business doing it. I had no idea what I was doing. I'd watched a couple of videos. YouTube was new then, about how to do long distance touring, but I spent 35 days on the saddle from Halifax down to New York, New York City, Jacksonville, Florida. I went over to Nashville. Like, every day I just rode. And what I remember most about that trip is that after I got back, the bike sat for about a day, and then I went for a ride. That's how much I love to ride. And it was always something I've just loved to do. I never thought about the danger of it. I always felt I was fit enough, aware enough, safe enough that I could avoid other people's mistakes and wouldn't make any of my own. Sold everything and moved to the Philippines, including the Bolt. And when I was in the Philippines, I rode Borneo. I was looking for ways to ride a motorcycle. So after the Philippines, we moved to Guatemala for a year, Guatemala City, and we didn't own a car, just a motorcycle. I bought an F700 GS. And I rode every day, almost every day. I mean, 300 days that year, I was riding a motorcycle. I'd get groceries with it, we'd do tours with it. It's how we got around, other than Uber. So motorcycle just starts to become part of your body, and just natural to ride. So came back from Guatemala, moved back to Canada, bought this NC 750, driven down the States a few times. I just loved motorcycling. And then I had the crash. So I always think about how I thought about motorcycling before I got in an accident and how I felt since. So yeah, again, before the accident, there was a flow, there was a peace. I never felt things were dangerous. And after a ride, I just felt good. The first thing I said in the hospital after the accident was, I'm never gonna ride again. And I believed it. I said, I'm done. I was in my 60s. It's not the first time I've been hit by a car. I've been hit by a car a lot in my life. I really don't know why I'm still here. And when I was at just, 13 or something, I went over the hood of a car, hit the windshield, went in the ditch. I had a head-on collision with my bicycle when I was growing up. I went over a hood of a car when we were living in Egypt. This kid didn't know how to drive, took me off at the legs again. I kind of thought I was like that guy from Unbreakable. You remember Bruce Willis? So I gotten a lot of hits in my life. Played hockey growing up, and back in those days it was all contact. There was no such thing as non-contact hockey, and you were just told, get up. You just got your bell rung. You're fine. After the motorcycle accident, of course, there's the foot. It was broken. I was in a cast, couldn't move, couldn't ride. And that's where there's something broken. But there was something else too, and it was that my confidence was shaken. And I've been hit in the head a couple times playing ball hockey. And not hard, just normal hits. And I find hard to concentrate. I can't read sometimes. A couple weeks ago, I took 2 hits in a row playing ball hockey, and just felt myself tired, couldn't concentrate. So you got to kind of make a decision on the level of risk you're willing to take based on your age and how much joy it brings you. And that's where I was, that's where I am with driving a motorcycle. This year, I drove quite a bit. Like I said, 3,300 kilometers. I did a trip to Prince Edward Island with the bike. And for the first time since the accident, I felt back to where it was before. I think in PEI, there's not a lot of traffic. They gave me a lot of space, and I felt that peace when riding when I was there, and that was the first time. So I'm not quite ready to say goodbye to motorcycling. I want to build on that. So after my foot kind of healed a little bit, probably never will be the same. The first year it happened, I did take the bike out a couple times to see how it would do. And I was nervous. I was watching YouTube. Her name was Doodle, and she crashed on her bike. And she's driven a lot. She does a lot of courses, like motorcycling is her thing. And since the crash, even she has said it's taken a while to get that comfort back. If you watch motorcycle videos, you probably know Itchy Boots. She did a compilation recently. She's crashed a lot. In fact, the last one that she had in Africa ended up puncturing her lung, and yet she still rides. She just seems to not be shaken up by it at all. Maybe she doesn't talk about it in her videos, but I guess she's a legend. She's also in her 30s, half my age, so that has something to do with it. All I know is I can't take any more hits like that, I don't think. I don't want to, and I want to get back to that peaceful, easy feeling I used to get when I rode a motorcycle. At first, when I rode after the accident, I was overcautious. I was thinking everybody's out to get me. Any kind of horn screeching noise, and you get rattled. I mean, the car that hit me slammed its brakes on and ran its horn for a long time. Even now, when I'm walking, someone goes beep to say hello. It freaks me out. A friend of mine knows that, so every time he sees me, he rolls his window down and goes beep beep with his voice. It's kind of nice. But where I'm at right now is that, you know, I'm at a crossroads. Where do I get another a motorcycle and do a lot of touring, or sell it and take up other hobbies? It's a risk-reward sort of thing that everybody has to make their own decision on after a crash. So I guess in this, why did I make this video? Maybe something I said resonates with you after your crash. Maybe you have some advice for me. So my first recommendation is, after a crash, you don't have to ride, and you don't not have to ride. I think your family, people that love you, probably rather you wouldn't anymore, especially when you get into your 60s. But it's ultimately your own kind of risk assessment. Is it bringing you enough joy to keep riding or not? It's kind of the question you have to ask yourself. Second thing is, always wear your gear. Because I flew with just a carry-on, I didn't bring any of my own gear. So I rented a helmet, rented a jacket, rented gloves, but I just wore normal running shoes. So I don't know if my riding boots would have completely prevented my foot from breaking, but it might have helped. Plus the helmet was very scratched, and my vision wasn't perfect. I don't want to get into how it happened, because to this day I don't know. I guess third, yeah, take your time and be honest with the people around you. My riding buddy knew I was jittery right off the bat. You could tell I was at intersections going once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. Not sure if I trust myself anymore. With the concussion stuff, I didn't really say anything to anybody until recently. After the hockey game where I got hit in the head, it was several days before I said anything. I don't know, it's that suck it up mentality. It's just a flesh wound. Know yourself, and if you can get back to where you were, good on you. I'm not there yet, and I hope to be maybe next year. For now, I'm going to keep the NC 750. I can't see spending a lot of money on a new bike for something that may put 3,000 kilometers on it. But again, who knows? Who knows how much my confidence might improve next year? And again, play it by ear. I guess it's a decision I gotta make. So if you have any advice for me, let me know. I could use it. Like and subscribe. Stay safe. see you next year.